live on YouTube. And last but not least, okay, perfect. And we are live on Instagram. Here we go. So, to everybody out there, hello, hola, konnichiwa, salam, ciao, namaste. Peace to all. This is the Pink Elephant in the Room conversation, and you're probably wondering why did it take so long and whatnot. I had to deal with something. There was an emergency call, so I had to deal with that. So I do apologize for you guys out there. I still wanted to go ahead and put this video up one way or another for us to do it live, no matter who's out there and whatnot. But without any further ado, we are going to begin with some of the things you are not willing to naturally accept about self. What are these things you're not willing to accept or understand of self that you may not want to put into perspective? One of the biggest ones that we'll be going over is death. Death plays a key role in our world of making us believe that there is no possibility of any of us coming back to this world, or that this is the only life we have in this body and whatnot, that there are no other options, there are no other ways, that you, once you die, that's it. That's how we see it. The problem is with that, first of all, you can't die. So you have a lot of us who will bury people and will cry because we feel we will never see them again, and you can connect with them. Many people have maybe said they've seen someone that perhaps in the shadows, maybe late at night, or they might have smelled maybe someone you love, a loved one, a spouse or whatnot, or a friend. They might have smelled something they used to wear, a perfume, a cologne, or whatnot, or perhaps you something that you saw that they cherished in their life. Maybe you saw somewhere at a store or whatnot. All sorts of energy. You can connect to that and realize that you connect to them. A picture can just pop out of nowhere and all of a sudden it's there. There's a bunch of ways. So, truth be told, you're never alone in that sense. You will feel alone due to the fact of what you're going through, how you feel as though there's nobody there in your life to understand how you feel about things, how you feel about what's going on in your life, that person you'll never get to see again. But the problem is there's a flaw in that. You will get to see those people if you choose to. You will get to choose whatever you choose and decide in life. It's a choice. And sorry about that. I was looking at something that popped up. But you have to be willing to let that in when we're talking about people who are in your life and loved ones. There's no reason to be afraid of death, and there's no reason to be afraid of losing someone. So what am I getting on about by this? Maybe the question that you are pure energy, or as I probably stated in the last Pink Elf in the Room, you are matter. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. To destroy it would mean to destroy the entirety of everything. You only think on a perspective of only your planet issues, your planetary issues on this planet. That's it. That we don't see past that, that there might be much more to it than just this, that there might be a bigger scale on how everything works. We only see it as us revolving around everything because of we have not We've had no belief system of seeing other species around us, other creatures around us, other beings around us, and we can't imagine it because we have an attempt to look forward. That being said, you don't realize that what you if you could truly die, your entire universe would collapse like that. Hence why it's impossible for you to die. You just do. You are a shapeshifter. You just constantly shift what form you look like. And you might ask yourself, well, how would I do that or anything? You see, what you do is simply by going into a new body, you take form from that and you shift your body into that being to create something. You can mold yourself out of that being to look similar to what you look today, or just creating a new part of who you are. It's up to you on what you create. You feel you have no control over any of that stuff, but you very much do have control. So it's a choice of understanding that you can't die. It's impossible. That's one thing that we will not be willing to accept, but that is something you need to understand of self, that death does not exist in this world, in this realm, or any other realm. It'd be impossible because it means the entirety of the one would have to die with everything, including you. And you can't die. So here's the next one, too. Understanding how to be unconditionally loving instead of being unconditionally loving with conditions. We live in a world, especially today, where the status quo must be. Um, Hold on just a sec, you guys. Sorry about that. There we go. But we live in a world where the status quo has to be simply that the only way I can love you is if you have X, Y, and Z put together. That is the only way we see it. We do not take people on their journeys. We take them for what materialistic things they have that can help us gain upon that. And that's a journey within anybody, one way or another, that they're trying to gain something. But there are too many people who get upset because they can't seem to find what they desire. When you have people who feel like they desire someone to love them unconditionally and care for them in a way they haven't seen, when it's brought towards them, um, like I've said before, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to use what they have. There was a joke told to me on someone's channel, I believe on YouTube, where the joke was simply, I'm really nothing special for you. I'm just gonna mess with your life, etc. And the girl was like, "You're right," and I should be finding some other people who've probably been in my life and passed me by, but I'm just gonna be with you instead. And what I mean by that, I'm not even trying to use it like that. I'm talking about just both sides, no matter who you are, male or female, whatever you want to call yourself, is the simple fact that we will take those ideologies and not see what is right in front of us that can grow us. We would rather stick to what is, in a sense, a fairy tale of what we enjoy. We see someone, we go for the opposite, I mean. You go for the opposite people who, and then you wonder to yourself, why can I never find that person? And this is just an example of one thing. Why can I never find that person, etc.? And what you're doing is you have now placed your energy in that, and you are now only vibrating on that energy. So imagine yourself like a ball going through a tube. And of course, in order for you to go further, you would have to go to a tube that's going this way, upward. But you're just going straight. And you're wondering why this tube is going nowhere. Why is it not taking you to where you say you desire to go? And it is because you are vibrating on that type of energy. So how would we be able to vibrate higher? Well, the trick would be to blow air or push yourself much further upward. And it means you have to be looking within self and seeing your own energy. Ooh, seeing your own energy, seeing how you're vibrating, and how you are working around people, because you may need time to work on self and love self so you can grow past that. Otherwise, you keep yourself at that vibration. If you are not taking time to be unconditionally loving to who you are as a person and growing who you are as a person, to make sure that you truly love yourself, you're working on yourself, you're growing yourself, you see the success, you see the beauty within who you are, you see the God, you're the goddess, the creator within who you truly are as a being. When you start seeing that within self, you will not have the problem of having unconditional love with conditions. You'll see people for who they are. And not only that, I don't just say this to people who are actually working on that. I also say this for the people who feel none of that exists. If you feel it doesn't exist, all I can simply tell you is simply this. Look at the way your world is today. There are statistics that show the divorce rate, or statistics for people being together, and it can be very short for some people, or it can be minuscule in a sense when you're in marriages. So taking your time to literally stop trying to find the material, because truth is the material shouldn't mean anything. If you are with someone, you're in an experience to share with them, to love with them, to grow with them, if you so desire. If you desire something more meaningful, then you might want to actually back check your thought process. You might want to back check how you are legitly doing things in life to grow at a higher vibration of that. And understanding the love within so you can give it to others is vitally important to who you are as a person. Understanding your unconditional love is what will grow you to find what you desire as love unconditionally with other people and other relationships. The other part of that is also finding what you enjoy, not what people tell you, not the fact of like having to do X, Y, and Z, because what you have to remember is don't betray yourself for another. It's the highest betrayal, because of the fact that the only person who is going to love you is you more than anybody else. And taking time to love yourself, grow yourself, be around yourself, and really smile and be happy about who you are, the beauty of who you are, is what will make you the most magnificent and divine being of who you truly are, instead of what other people say, because you will get past all that. What other people say, what other people do, you'll just look at it and see that, well, at least I love myself. And that's what's vital, is loving who you really are as a being. So, one of the things we don't desire to look past is unconditional love. And that is a part of something that is extremely natural to who you are, to grow who you are and love who you are. So, what would be the next one? The next would simply be our problem with sharing. We have a huge problem with sharing, where we will say to people, yes, we share. We don't share though. We share by our terroristic definition of sharing. We do not share based off the ideology of growing who we truly are. To share something is simply to seriously look at a person and realize, in a sense, that if there, when you start seeing, we talked about this yesterday, your wealth, when you are looking at your wealth, if you desire to see that within yourself, give it away. Give something you have away that you know you have enough of. If you have a bunch of food, for example, and maybe there's someone who is hungry on the street and whatnot, give them that food, because you know you have enough. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about starving. You see your wealth within that, the freedom that you can actually give away things because you have plenty of it. But due to our mentality in today's society, we have a mentality, instead of releasing, to grip tightly to something we have that it is unnecessary to keep those things in our life. Um, so we won't let them go. We do this with whether it's sharing money, we do this whether it's with sharing cars, clothes, whatever you want to call it, food, water, all sorts of things. It's literally a variety of things of sharing that need to be understood of who we truly are. When you are sharing those things, first of all, it's definitely going to make you feel good about yourself. And the reason why it's going to make you feel good about yourself is because you feeling that freedom of who you really are. You're feeling that natural truth of who you are as a being. That it's not about the fact that I have to hoard this amount of money or hoard this amount of food so no one else can touch it, but that I can always get more of it. If you desire, for example, to gain your wealth, seeing just simply that when you're giving away money, and even if you feel like, well, no, I don't want to do this, and this is give or take whoever you are out there, but when whether it's just giving some change or a dollar out of your pocket, keep in your mind, say this if it helps you, is there's more where that came from. When you have that mentality of knowing that of your wealth, sharing doesn't become a problem. I've met people where, due to what I've done without even thinking about it, whether it's, man, I don't want to take them here or I don't want to share this food, I've done it because of the fact of the energy that happens. You see what you see in others, you see in yourself. So, for example, in my experience, I've given one close friend you've probably seen on here before, where I give him food or gas or whatever it is because of how we are sharing and growing with each other, and because of that, it always comes back to me. So it's a constant rotation of energy. When that happens of who you are, that's exactly the point. This energy, you give away something and it comes back to you. If you desire wealth, you show and grow someone so they can grow their own wealth, and you end up finding that that helps you get your wealth. So sharing is number 3 of this. Sharing is vitally important to growing who you truly are as a being and loving who you are. So then the next one would be this: your planet. Excuse me. One of the most things that you don't connect too much to about who you are, and don't get me wrong, excuse me, by the way, um, not all of us do, but still, is the importance of your planet. You, and I don't know if I said it here, I probably didn't. I'm not quite sure. I believe I did talk about this, but anyways, you live on a planet that you feel is an inanimate object, perhaps, or it's not really an organism. What you fail to realize is this organism is an organism. You live on a planet that's an organism. It's its own molecule in a space that is something bigger of something else, in a sense, that keeps growing. Just like when we say you are the universe. Like I said, the universe is merely an amoeba of something bigger of itself. And the same goes for you, is the simple fact that you play the same role in something else. So taking care of the universe, or I'm sorry, not the universe, taking care of your planet is as important as taking care of yourself. That's why I constantly tell people how the importance of making sure you're healthy, making sure you meditate, taking time by yourself, loving who you are. Because in order to love who you are, in order to grow self, allows you to grow the planet, help the planet in a sense. If you want to change the world, first you have to change yourself. And I said that yesterday. So, hey, you have to be willing to seriously love yourself, grow yourself first to make those things happen. You can't just sit here and think, well, I'm going to change the plan, this and that. I'm going to change all the gases that are harming our planet, this and that. Yes, that you can do that, but the thing is, it's going to be a lot harder if you don't focus on the self first. Take care of your health first so you can take care of health outside of yourself. When you're healthy and everything, and I've told this to whether you have children or whether you are just doing gardening or whatever you're doing out there, take care of yourself first so you can take care of what's outside of you. If you have like a children, if you're not eating healthy, how do you expect your children to eat healthy? You gotta work on your health first so you can make sure your children are healthy. If you want a beautiful garden in a sense, you have to understand it just like your own self. Taking care of your health and loving how you are from the inside. Things that work for you to make sure you're happy, to make sure you're well, to make sure you smile more. Taking care of your plants is the same way. Most people may not understand plants are highly intelligent. They do have emotions. It's been proven. There's actual proof. And I've talked about this before with one scientist. What he did was showing the response of a plant through its emotions when he had a lighter. And the plant had shown fear. You have to realize that everything has energy and everything has its own intelligence to some degree, but the problem with most of us is we don't see it like that. That the intelligence is there in everything, but it's to different vibrations, different wavelengths, different ways of how it goes. We speak and talk this way, but to something else, it might not seem the same. Just like when you look at a plant, you don't look at the plant like you, so you consider it not to be sentient. But yet the plant, if you have ever done this, I've done an experiment with this. I had 5 different avocado trees plants. And what they did was, during the day, they literally would bend towards the window. And then later on, they would straighten at night. They are showing intelligence because of what they're doing. They're soaking in the sun and they realize it's nighttime, so they need to straighten out. It's like a person who's working all day and then when they're done, they go to rest. That's exactly what they're doing. Seeing the harmony in that, the inside of the plant, and taking care of it delicately is what will help you to grow and flourish those plants. Or starting up any companies to help people to help the planet or whatnot, taking the unconditional understanding ideology of who you really are naturally and putting that in sync with nature and people around you to take care of both sides. That's what it takes to work that. Going within self, taking care of who you are so you can take care of that. Health is important to that, and your environment is vitally important. Take care of it because this is the planet you live on. I mean, we can say all the time that, oh, we can go to a different planet. And maybe, of course, we might have the technology, but the thing you have to realize is that it wouldn't matter if you go to another planet or not. If you go to another planet, you'll do the same thing there that you did here. You have to change your belief system. You can't just simply think that, oh, we can, like, it's not like a toy. Your planet, or any planet for that matter, it's not like a toy. You can't just have it break it and think, oh, I can get another one, and then have it break it again. You repeat the cycle. So going other places or whatnot, it wouldn't help us. If we don't fix what we're doing here, if we don't work and love ourselves here, how do you expect to go somewhere else and change that? It starts with us from the inside. Health, which is the next thing. Many of us, not all of us, because there's a lot of people again that are growing that part of who they are growing their health and who they are and bettering whatever works for them to make sure they're getting stronger faster. You are seeing people now live longer. And of course, you are seeing people who are not living longer. And that's what I mean by this. Your health is vitally important. And of course, in our experience, we feel that it's okay to eat the foods we eat, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you want. But what I would put is the importance for anyone to take care of their health, period, no matter how you eat. Um, Health is wealth. Health grows the mindset, grows the body's efficiency. And many of us will eat things because we love the taste of it, but we will then be concerned or we'll pray over the fact of maybe certain diseases we've gotten were they were supposed to happen. And I've heard this before. You were never supposed to get a disease. The problem of why you've gotten those diseases is due to your health. And if you are not taking care of who you are as a person, you cannot expect for your health to be in good order. Take care of yourself, for goodness sake. Seriously, take care of yourself for your own good, for your own sake, because your health matters to you. Because it also shows, and it cycles even to what we were talking about earlier with unconditional love. It cycles to who you are. When you are being unconditionally loving to yourself, that is a part of who you are. The priority of your health, the priority of the mind, the priority of the soul, and making sure you take care of those three triune parts of who you are, and pushing your energy. Keep yourself in order so you can actually help someone else and keep growing from there. And last but not least, I just want to add this. This is a big one. Seeing the gods, the goddesses, and creators within self. We are a species who is always putting ourselves down. And of course, we do at times use our ego to inflate that ideology of who we are. And there's no need for that, of course, because of who you are once you get to that point. But we we don't have the guts to see that beauty within ourselves, the God, the goddess, the creators within. How divine we are. We're afraid of that. We feel it's too much. It's we could never be that magnificent, and yet here we are. You are a brilliant thing that has been created, and you are the gods, the goddesses, and creators. And the reason you are is because you're one with what you consider to be God, energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it, Allah. I don't know what it is to you. Whatever you desire to call it, you're one with that. There's no difference. The difference you feel is that you feel there's something out there that's much higher than you, and you're on this physical plane, so there's no possible way you could be that way. When you are that way, you are simply taking a form. You have forgotten your life. You've forgotten who you are. And now here you are. Again, you are making a path for yourself. See the beauty within who you are. Love who you are. No matter what anyone says about you, no matter what, if there's hatred or whatnot, and someone tells you how ugly you are, how immature you are, you have to understand they too are in a path of their own and trying to understand who they are. What you see in others, you see in yourself. So if someone tells you that you're being immature or you're not mature or whatnot, that probably means they're not too mature themselves, and that's okay. That's why I never tell people I'm mature. I'm constantly growing. So constantly see that within self. See that beauty, because not only that, even if you do see that beauty, pass that on to another person, because you could possibly change someone's life. Because more people need to hear that about themselves. Because if you knew truly who you guys are, you'd smile a lot more. You're too magnificent. You're too amazing. You are too beautiful. You are too fantastic. You are too divine not to realize and see the gods, the goddesses, and the creators within who you really are. So, to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. Namaste.